Welcome back. Welcome back. I am your host, Ray, and this is Beautiful Ashes Podcast, where you are chosen and God can get the glory out of your life, even if you're broken too. We talk about everything from faith to real life, family. So I just ask that you would join in. We do have a guest here today. My good girl is Princess Jennifer Stringfield. She's coming to us. Today's episode is Mind Over Matter. We're going to talk about so much. So I just invite you to tune in and just relax and enjoy this good chat that we're going to have. We're changing lives one chat at a time. So we're going to dive in. And I'm just so excited. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. This is episode 4, so fairly new, but already life-changing. So I'm excited where it's going to go. Yeah. When I thought about this topic that the Lord gave me, Mind Over Matter, I was like, okay, Lord. So I had no idea like what he was talking about. And as he worked with me on it, he was illuminating like so many things that's going on around us. And we're in a season now where we have to be sure to posture our minds and our spirit man so that we can manifest the things that he desires for us first, but also the things that we desire for ourselves. So like, it's just so important for your mind to be postured well in order for you to not be distracted by what's the matter.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like, who better to talk to us about minds and not being distracted with what, is going on around you. And then just like your life epitomizes exactly that. It's so many things that like that just when I looked at you, I just thought about it. You look exactly like your mom.
Oh,
yes, I just thought about the fact that you have like every reason to be out here. Wow. Like you could just justifiably lose your mind for a minute and everybody will be like, okay, well, she deserved that little break. She'll be back, but at no time, I mean, everybody struggles with whatever. I don't know, but I'm just saying at no time publicly or for more than a moment have you ever displayed anything other than resilience. So like, that's definitely admirable, especially in my eyes. I'm proud of so much about what you do, like every part of your life. It blesses me. So keep doing what you do.
Oh, wow. That was deep. I have to receive all the words that you just said. I just needed to take a moment to process. I'm shaking at the words that you just said. But yeah, it's been a long journey. A lot of things. And the way that you just said it, I kind of don't show. And I'm like, oh, I feel like sometimes I do. But it also is what you just said in reference to you cannot let the things that are going on confuse you. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you just shared about posturing your heart and your mind to actually relax so you can process and make the correct decision, right. Not based off of feelings. So, wow. Thank you, Raymond. I received everything that you just said. I think.
No, that was real.
I've never heard it like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. But like, so, and then to that point, so often we don't take the time to say the things that people really need to hear. Cause like God deals with you. The spirit man hears a lot. And sometimes we just be like, oh, that's just a thought. But no, that's not a thought. It's the unction of the Holy Spirit, and some of that stuff is not just, it's not just for you. You know what I'm saying? Some of that stuff you should share with the person because you don't know why the Holy Spirit gave you that thought or what it can do for or with or to the person. So we gotta be obedient, like, and have an ear to hear and not just be a hearer, but a doer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Can I just say one thing on that?
Absolutely.
What you just said?
Yeah.
I think my concern, for myself, I'm a hearer, but I don't communicate often what I hear. I'm just begin to do. And then people often see like, oh, what is she doing? Where did she get that idea? It's because I've already heard, I've already downloaded. And a lot of times I don't share what I hear. I just do. So I just wanted to piggyback off of that.
But that's good too, because like that sticks 100% in line with the mind over matter. You get something downloaded to you, right?
Yep.
And so many things are going on around you. You could just be like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to share, bloop, 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 or somebody, but some stuff is not meant for you to share. Some stuff you're just supposed to download and just save it, right?
Bingo.
Not distributed.
You
know, when you hit download on something, be like, are you ready to share? After
no,
download
not ready to
Sometimes
share.
you got to X that joint out and hold it and see what the Lord is, telling you.
It.
Right.
Yes.
So that was so good. Yes. I do like how we are just in sync. But I know this podcast right here, Beautiful Ashes, it just talks about being yourself, be you to the fullest as is. That's what the play on words is. But the most important thing that God is trying to convey to us through all of these segments, episodes, conversation is his word, right? And how it is illuminated and how it is real and how it is relevant in everybody's life and how the remnant that remains here, although we look a lot different from yesterday's saints, we are still just as anointed, purposed, chosen, called, all of that, loved. You still are his, right? Flaws and all. So yeah, like we have to stand on his word, in every part of our life. People always talk about like Bible carriers and toters and different things like that. But every single part of our life, every part of what we do, God is in it. So his word should be there too. And we should have something in us because when whatever's in you is going to come out. So when things rise up against you, you have to have something in you to be able to ground you. I don't see no empty. Oh, that's good. This is good. There's not one empty vase or glass that you can put in water. And when the water rises, it doesn't float or become unstable unless something is in it. And that something that's in it got to be solid. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So like, Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. What greater scripture is there to piggyback off of mind over matter? Mind over matter.
Yes. I want to share what you just said, to believe. If you ask, you have to believe.
Right.
You can't ask and don't think it won't happen. Because instantly, if you think it won't happen, it won't happen. Because you're not screening and preparing and making space for what you ask for. Yeah. That's what faith is. Faith is to believe. Look
what I got right here.
Oh,
this
okay.
equals faith.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Well,
I was
I always like, no. I'm not going to say this verbatim, but like when I know that I've heard from the Lord on an assignment, this podcast is my assignment from the Lord for his people.
Yes.
Right. So like what he's giving me, I'll jot it down. And then afterwards I can like meditate on what he gave me, that person, because this is unscripted.
Yeah.
We ain't talk about it.
No.
So you know what I want her to do.
No. I sound so nervous. Still nervous.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So like after the fact, I come back and I'm like, oh my God, we touched on that. That came out. And I can see him. And that helps me too, right? It builds my spirit man up so that way I got those muscles. So when I know, I'm like, okay, I know his voice. I know he told me that. I can think back to all of the other times that I thought I heard his voice. So now I know I heard his voice because he did. Boom, 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 boom. Right?
You know what I call that? And my friends will tell you I'm really big on it. They're like, well, they go Jen with that stuff again. But for me, that's confirmation.
Yes, absolutely.
It's direction. I know that my path is being lit by the things that he's already revealed to me and hasn't shared to anyone else.
Nobody else.
So when I hear it from this or that and it's already aligned to what he already told me, it's like, oh, this way. So.
That's right. So I was like listening to something right after the Lord had gave me this next episode topic. And then I was thinking like, because everybody's life is, life and for us all, me too. I'm not exempt. So, I'm like, okay, in this season of my life, I know what you told me. I know this season is about obedience. I know this season is about moving forward in you. I know this season is about taking up my cross every day and following you. But off of the Christian side, this season for me, off of the spiritual side, this season for me is also about, it's grind time. It's go time. It's time for me to manifest some things and some goals that I have in my life. It's time for me to position myself, to posture myself for where I want to go, for what I want to have, for what I want my son to see me accomplish. And I need to make sure that I'm in a position that when he comes out of college to do the things that he wants to do in his entrepreneurial journey, that he can do those, that I can be, in a space that he don't feel like he got to take care of his mom, because that's the posture of his heart. He's a good guy. So, I am like, okay, I'm coming up on 40.
It's a blessing.
It is.
It's a number.
Some people don't even get there, right?
Exactly.
But to that point, I got to get my mind over what's the matter with me, because I'm like, wow, I'm coming up on 40. So many things that I said I would have accomplished by 40. So many things that I said I would not be dealing with when I was 40 that I'm still entangled in. Some things that I said that I would, have already purchased or done or experienced, places that I have never been. Like just so many things that I can reflect on. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I haven't really done the things that I want to do at 40. And that kind of stuff will get your mind on what's the matter with you and not what matters with you.
Bingo.
Right? I don't want to be thinking about what's the matter with me. I want to think about what matters with me. So, you the expert. I want you to unpack that.
Okay. When you say you focus on all the other things, the wants or where I should be or how I should be, to me, that's a distraction from what's purposeful.
Distraction. Pin that. Somebody pin that.
It's a distraction from what's purposeful.
Yes.
What's important to you? What matters is your core values, your beliefs, where God is sending you, if that's what you believe in, or whatever your dreams are. That's what is the matter. That is what's core.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be what your focus is.
Right.
And so if if it's aligned into the word of where you are going, other people are not going to see it. And you have to be okay with that. When Noah was building the ark, it was no rain going on. They probably was looking at him like, why is he out here 40 days, whatever, building this big old boat? It ain't no rain out here. Mm-hmm. He didn't let those distractions stop him for his mission.
That's true.
So that is the best way to kind of look at it from that standpoint. Because if you let what others think and what others' thoughts and feelings and their views come into you and what you have going on, it is a distraction. Now you're more focused on that instead of what really core matters, your values, your beliefs. So
that's really good. Core values and beliefs, distractions, right? Because all of that comes to play with the mind.
Yes.
I was looking at something, and on one of the platforms that I was looking at, I had to write this down because I wasn't going to remember this, but somebody was saying one of the, speakers, they were just chit-chatting or whatever, and they were like, your mind is stronger and more powerful than what's physically the matter with you. Yes. And the lady tapped on like how there was a study where there were people who had cancer. And like the ones that came in after diagnosis and couldn't wrap their mind around having faith and believing that they could have victory after this. And the people who believed, like pretty much was in denial, but understood, but just would not accept that was the end for them. Like will their body to align with what they wanted manifested, which was healing. Like that is major. What's your take on that? Like you 100% believe in that?
Yes, I 100% believe in that. So whatever you create or you formulate, whatever thoughts you create, that's what will happen. Why? Because that's the view and the lens that you only choose to look out of. You're not going to look at anything else that counteracts that belief. So if you feel like I'm not good enough, you're going to go outside and somebody might say something to you. You're going to say, see, that's proof or that's evidence. I should have did this.
Oh, that's confirmation, your C word.
That's confirmation to your confirmation bias of how you believe.
Oh, that's real good.
About yourself.
I like
so
that.
you have to be mindful about the things that distract you, because if they distract you, now they're going to go against your core belief and make you second guess your belief, and then you're doing something outside of what you told yourself you wanted, and you're going to get the outcome of what you do that's outside of what you wanted. Does that make sense of what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. Perfect sense. I mean, I would have never put it that way or even thought about it in that manner. But now that you say it that way, mindful of what distracts you.
Yes.
So you was about to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Go ahead.
And another way that kind of helps with that too is like when we do therapy, we use cognitive behavioral therapy. That's the treatment modality that talks about how your thoughts drive how you feel. So if you have negative thoughts all the time, what do you think your feelings are going to align to?
That's so deep, because my son, he has this thing that he does, like whatever he's going through for the day, like he want to listen to that music, and I'd be like, turn it off.
Yeah.
And he like, Mom, chill. And I'm like, no, because you're feeding that. If you feel down, you need something that's going to pick you up.
Yes.
Why would you go and subject yourself to something that is sad and dragging and bringing you down, and you singing it? I mean, you singing it.
Because it fits the mood that you want to be in or are in that moment.
So in your professional opinion and just experience, why do you think that the human mind automatically responds that way?
It's easier. It's low-hanging fruit. It doesn't require effort. It's easy.
Path of least resistance.
Past the path of least resistance. That's just how our minds are wired. That's just how our minds are really wired. And our minds are actually wired to think that we're always in conflict or we're not safe. So we're instantly on guard looking at how I got to create safety, even if you already are safe. So that's why when we say mind over matter, it really has to be the mind over actually what is going on.
We have to create safety, even if we're already safe.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that unresolved trauma?
Yes.
Is 100% or almost always the leading factor in that?
Yes.
What else?
I would say trauma, past experiences, different beliefs. It just depends. Everyone's experience is different. You can receive or hold something more than somebody else because they maybe not have had your experiences in the past. So it's kind of a slippery slope of trying to understand others. But that's so hard when a lot of us with that flesh is like, oh, I'm right all the time, or it has to be this particular way, or not are okay if someone can't meet this expectation, but maybe they can't. Maybe they don't have the capacity to. Maybe they don't have the knowledge to. Maybe they don't have the experience to. They are still growing. So
you tapped on something and I want to put a pin right there.
Okay.
And I want you to expound a little bit.
Okay.
You know, because when we talk about mind over matter, we talk about, mental stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are a spiritual being, spiritual things go into that too, but the F word, that flesh. So what I've learned in just getting more intimate with God and just letting him do a lot in my life, God is really like blowing my mind with who he actually created me to be. Sometimes I look in the mirror and it brings tears to my eyes at the giant of a person humbly. I'm saying this humbly, but it's humbling that he chose to use me to put this big stuff on the inside of. So humbling sometimes that I'm scared to even admit that this is on the inside of me, because I'm like, why would he put this kind of stuff inside of me and my life looks like this? My life is broken in this area. My life is broken in this area. I got some unresolved things in this area. Like I'm still trying to figure out this area, like all of that stuff, right? And then I look at what's inside of me, affirmation after affirmation. I sit on panels of very renowned speakers and different things like that. And I'm just over here like, most of the time I'm the youngest one. Most of the time I'm the only one with ripped jeans on or something crazy. And I'm just like, cover me up. But then they are abundantly blessed, more so than the people that look like them, been doing it as long as them, by me. And then I'm like, Lord, all of this broken stuff in this flesh, right?
Yep.
And then God said to me, no shade. The flesh is intended to make you feel. You cannot compassionately, because he calls us to compassion, feel for somebody else in the spirit. The parts of your flesh is what allows you. Why do you think I came in flesh? He came, put on flesh. Oh God.
Yeah.
For us, right?
Yeah.
So he could walk that walk, so he could talk to us, so we could relate to him. Because think about if he was up in the sky like Jennifer. I mean, yeah, you want to hear from him, but like really in those times where you would just want, because sometimes you just want somebody to sit with you. They got to say nothing.
That's
just
right.
Be there in the flesh, right?
Right.
How could you have received what his comfort or the things that he needed to teach us, or how he got in that boat with them and said, let me take you back out here in the water and let down your net? Like, how would you have been able to full on embrace it if he wasn't right there in the flesh with you?
Exactly.
So we give this flesh a bad rap, right? Because of all the stuff that the flesh does, all of the deceit that comes along with it, the sin that comes along with it, the stuff that our flesh causes us to want to partake in. We give that a bad rap. But the Lord said, no, that flesh got purpose. The only thing that you had to make sure that you do is mind over matter. And do what? Self-control.
And I was about to also share too, vulnerability.
I can see that side.
Yeah, because as you were sharing, I have felt like that majority in all the rooms that I've been in. I've always been the youngest. I've always climbed the ladder. But I've had people that had to be vulnerable to about those feelings, like what you just said. Yeah. And so I took it to them, and I shared and I expressed, and they were able to pour in and speak over my flesh to help me to understand. Because sometimes we just need understanding. We don't need to be right. We need understanding. So I can say I felt those feelings, and sometimes still feel those feelings.
What? Every day.
Still feel those feelings every day.
Yeah.
But like what she's saying is self-control, and I use vulnerability to the ones who I know, who know me, who kind of align to my core values, my beliefs of where I'm trying to go, and who understand my journey. Because you can't do it with everyone.
Oh, that's
you cannot do it with everyone. So that's when that discernment is very, very important. So yeah.
And more of like, again, this Beautiful Ashes podcast is for everybody. You don't have to be a giant in the word or nothing like that, but you do also have to recognize. And I mean, it's not just only geared to people who, believe in Jesus Christ. It's for everybody. That's what I believe in. So that's what I have to follow. But, and then I want you to know him. Right. So aside from that, like if we take the spirit hat off, like if we're just talking about manifesting and grind mode and just real regular life. Like sometimes the things you go through, you don't always want the people to come back to you. You don't want them talking to you about what's in the Bible. You want them talking about what you feel like is real, even though what's in the Bible is real. It's the only real thing. But you don't always want to, like when I was going through some things, like I didn't want people at the church to keep saying pray and all of that stuff. Like sometimes I wanted to be like, girl, yes, because I would have went over, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real. So, you have to know that in everything that you do, who you are created to be is great enough and equipped for the journey ahead. Like whatever comes your way, he has allowed it. So even if you don't want to tap into him or hold on to the things of him, or if you don't want to get down on your knees and kneel and pray, even though you should, but if in that moment, because sometimes in the moment you can't always pray. There are going to be some moments that might knock you to your knees, but you're not on your knees doing what you should be on your knees doing. You on your knees and you're in a space where you can't do anything but be knocked down. And that's allowed. I think that's a big piece with mind over matter. You have to be able to allow yourself to break down sometimes and to be broken sometimes, but don't stay there. He never said that things would have happened to you. In fact, if you be in the kingdom, if you do believe in him, the only thing that he did promise is that there would be trials and tribulation. He promised that. But
yes, can we put a pin there?
Yes, let's go.
Yes.
Go.
So yes, I'm so glad you shared that. And I just want to say that's what he promised, that they will be trials and tribulations. He didn't say maybe. He didn't say it might be on a Sunday, Tuesday. There will be.
Right.
So mind over matter is if he's already giving you the information that there will be trials and tribulations, mind says, okay, let me prepare for said trials and tribulations. Let me just wait and they happen and now I'm crying, woe is me. He already told you. So start preparing and living a life that prepares for those types of like conflicts, those types of adversities, because nobody is exempt from them. I wish I was. I wish I didn't have to experience a lot of things that I had to experience. But I realized the resiliency came from understanding the process, not the outcome. Process, not the outcome. I can speak for myself. Younger Jennifer always wanted to look at the outcome. Now I never even know what the outcome is going to be. I don't even try to create it. I don't even try to look for it. I don't even care what the outcome is, as long as I'm enjoying the process. And the process of what I'm doing is going to produce the outcome of the fruit that he may have for me. I don't know what that is. I'm not trying to create or make what that is. Whatever it will be, it will be. So.
Yeah, that's really good. So I had to go to the scripture because I would like the different translations. It was sticking out of my head. You are so right. John 16:33. But the New International Version says, I have told you these things.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah.
So that in me you can have peace.
Peace. It's there. Go get it. It's free.
In this world,
It's free.
you will have trouble, but take heart because I have overcome the world for you.
Already.
Right? He didn't told us this. But if you call your boo, your bae, husband, your girl, whoever, and she say, yeah, when you get down X, Y, and Z, it's gonna be this going on. But listen, I done already paid for it. I done already sent recompense for that.
Yeah.
And you like, oh, okay, she got me. So when you get there, right? You just go across whatever bump she done told you is there or he done told you is there. No fear. Because you believe that they already handled it for you and you good. Yeah. You just keep going. But in life, we get so dismayed when one little thing comes up, one thing after another, when he done already told you.
He told you already.
In this life, if you got this breath in your body, in this life, you will have trials and tribulations, but take heart because I have overcome the world for you. Like, what's the like, what?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? Where your mind at? Like, we got to like really get this stuff and really get it. But that doesn't mean that it only means that it won't be easy. It doesn't mean that it's not attainable. He never said it would be easy. He said have peace in it. Peace in it. We go to work. Sometimes we don't feel like doing it. Sometimes we have a rough day. But how you posture your mind, you might turn on a piece of music.
Yes.
You might, whatever, to help you get through. Do the same thing in your life with the Lord. Do the same thing. Because you can. You can make it. He done already overcame the world for you. And greater is he that is in you than he that is in the whole world.
I love how you say posture your mind.
Yeah.
It is really about posture your mind. If not, you're going to let your feelings drive. And I'm going to be honest with you. And some people don't agree. And I support the people who don't agree. But your feelings are not facts. They're not facts. It's just information about how you feel about a situation. The situation is the situation. How you feel about it, that's something different. Right. And we come in the room with our feelings, trying to tell and rep and ram the room when that doesn't really apply. Go process your feelings and then step back to the situation with the plan of how you're going to address. Not changing the situation because that's not your power. So,
what's your power?
To manage your feelings about the situation.
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, what? You keep saying it though. Process. Because you said go back and process your feelings.
Yes.
So it's still all about the process. How you, we were talking a little bit offline earlier and we were talking like about strategy. What's your strategy?
Yes.
How you plan to get through this little hiccup right here or this situation?
Yes.
So when you process that, like what you going to do?
Yes.
How you going to approach it when you come back? Yes. Like God is never asking us to be perfect.
No.
By no means. He knew we wouldn't be.
No.
He knew we wouldn't be. Like, so she said it earlier, why do we hold people to these standards that we create for them? They never said that they could uphold them.
I'm going to say expectations.
Expectations. Get me right.
Because standard is different.
Okay. Expectations. Yeah. And they never said that they could uphold them. They don't have the capacity to fulfill it. And then we disappointed. Yeah. But we set them. We done wrote a whole list before we even meet the dude. I'm going to talk to us, sis, right quick. Sis, before you even meet him, you got all this list. Now, I'm not to Jen's point. I'm not saying don't have standards.
Yes, that I was going to say have standards, but monitor and watch expectations. Just a recommendation.
Absolutely.
Totally different.
Absolutely. Now, listen, it's nothing wrong with you having standards. Right. And there's nothing wrong with you having an expectation based off of how something is moving, the vibe, we call it. But it is something wrong with you being disappointed with this expectation that you put in place based off of how you felt.
Yeah, you with me now.
and not facts.
Yeah. There we go. There you got me. Yeah. You're on the page with me. Yes.
So then you crazy, then you mad.
Then you're mad.
You mad.
Yeah.
And then you're not even mad at yourself for I have learned to tell myself, you know what, it's not their fault. It's on me. Because I thought that it was going to go a different way. And I acted accordingly. I put myself out there. So they didn't hurt me. I hurt myself. And then when you recognize that, you got to posture your mind a little different.
Adjust. Go back to the drawing board. That's the plan. Strategize. How am I going to show up the next time? What boundary am I going to put in place? What boundary am I going to communicate? And they have a choice to decide that they're going to honor or not honor. And I have to be okay with that. It doesn't take away less of who I am because they can't meet that. I will value and respect somebody saying, hey, I can't jump that high. And thank you.
And it definitely doesn't take away less of who they are. It actually makes them integral to say that they cannot meet it.
Bingo.
Tell me now.
Value, respect,
don't take me down the road.
Honesty. Yeah. Because somebody might respect and value the fact that you are straight up honest and say, hey, I can't meet that, but I can try this. Now we have room for dialogue. Okay. Do I want to accept that? Or can we do something else? I can now meet you and have dialogue. But if you can't have that type of conversation, it's an instant, cut off.
But then that comes back to mind over matter. Yeah. Mind over matter, another part that I want you to kind of expound on just a little bit is knowing yourself.
Ooh.
You got to know yourself. You cannot be out here trying to act like certain things are okay if you know that's not really who you are, or doing things that you know is not you, or putting yourself in positions that you know are not you, or being in crowds. Listen, let me tell you something. I have only a few best friends, but I have several friends. And because of who I am and what rests on my life, I have to be honest with the people in my life, right? There are certain people that are near and dear to me, like really close friends to me. There are certain places I can't go with them because of what rests on my life. But I am mature enough to explain, because what that communication does for the other party is it makes sure that it doesn't devalue who and what they are in my life, but explains to them what I'm standing on, because I got to stand on business. I have to do what I'm called to do, and what I'm called to do might not always allow me to go and enjoy things that my flesh might want to do because it's fun. Some of that stuff, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's not my lane. Because of what rests on my life, I have to be intentional about how I portray myself, where I go, certain things I do. And I'm still daily dying to self. I still might put on something and wear it and be like, get home and be like, you know what? You cannot wear this no more. But the whole time I was getting dressed, I'm like, this is cute. And I'm this year's old and I can wear this. And the Lord didn't say, but because of who I am and what I represent, it's not about what the Lord said or anybody else. It's about the intentionality on my walk and who's assigned to me and what they are going to get off of how I portray or posture myself. So you have to know yourself and what rests on you, what your purpose is. And that also falls into that mind over matter piece. So go ahead, school us.
Getting to know yourself. I would like to say you're going to make mistakes. And if you are so fearful of making mistakes, you will never know yourself. You have to get out there to see what it is that you like, what you don't like, why you don't like it, those types of things. And you're not going to get it right on the first try. The whole time that you're living, you're learning about yourself. So now you can know what's important to you, what's not, what decisions you're making. So, yeah, I would say just get up there and try. But the mistakes is going to be there. And I think that's when we can come back for wisdom to say, okay, I made this error. Let me come back to the drawing board. All right. How can I adjust? Kind of processing our mistakes. That's what we learn. It's not we made a mistake and it's the end. What did we learn from said mistake? So when we move forward, we'll know what to do the next time.
That's so good. Because like I came into a season of myself when I had to be separated from like things and people, like people and things that were near and dear to me, because the Lord was dealing with me about what my purpose was. So he needed me to be quiet. And he needed me to be apart from, right?
Yeah.
So he needed to take some of the distractions away. And the things that was happening in my life, I was like, why is this happening? I know I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but the Lord was, everything that happened to you, the Lord already okayed it. He allowed it. We just got to get okay with it. But I was like, why is this happening to me? I'm in this church. I pay my tithe. I go to work. I'm faithful to my spouse. Like, why is this happening to me? And then you think about, like, did I sow something that I'm reaping from back in the day? And I couldn't think of nothing. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I wasn't perfect. I'm pretty sure some stuff is coming, but there's grace.
That's what
that much more abounds, right? But then I was thinking, like, why is this stuff happening to me? Why am I having this season of my life? And then the Lord was like, this is not happening to you. This is happening for you.
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
Teaching.
Yeah. And then I was just like, really in the way of what was being done. I was in the way because I was trying to fix it because it was uncomfortable.
Yes, Raven, yes. We talked a little bit offline about that. It's learning how to get out of the way, learning how to rest, learning how to trust, learning how to give it to him. Because like what you said and what we know to be true, he already knows the end. So while we're flustered trying to make the end, it's already a design. It's already at the end. We just got to go through the process. Enjoy the process of it. The outcome is going to be the outcome.
I know who we are, right?
Yeah.
So we believe that. So talk to me, like, if I were coming to you as a client for treatment, okay, through counseling, and you didn't know what my spiritual background was, and you felt like that was the lane that I was in, what would you tell me to do to reset or posture my mind?
To reset. So a lot of times we explore where those thoughts come from, where they're deriving from. They're placed there.
So like journaling,
actually spending time with yourself and trying to identify.
That's what I was waiting for you.
Okay. You have to spend time with yourself. If you're always around other people, others, that's what's being downloaded in your thoughts. And then that's what you're going to gravitate to, and now you're wrestling with. You have to like kind of get away. And I think I had this conversation the other day with somebody, the difference between isolation and solitude. It's a big difference. Isolation, you feel lonely. Solitude, you're enjoying it because you're processing, you're learning, you're creating, you're building. It's a different type of thing. You almost enjoy solitude instead of versus with isolation, you feel left out and alone. So you have to spend time with yourself to see what are those thoughts that come up. And a lot of times, if some of those thoughts that's always coming up, back to what I was saying was, whose are they? Who planted those? Because they just didn't come out of anywhere. It could come from comparison. It could come from previous childhood experiences, other experiences. You have to start to assess what's yours and what's not, so you can move what's not yours out of the way, so what's yours can drive you to where you want to go. Hope I went the right way.
No, perfect. Okay. That was good. Like, because I don't want to always just put the spiritual side on it. I want the natural too, because they go hand in hand and they're so important. Yeah. So like that. Oh, that was good. That was good for me.
Okay.
You have to like get your thoughts and figure out whose they are. And move them out the way. Not keep them.
I mean, you could choose to keep them, but I just want you to know what you keep will manifest. Oh, and that's a choice.
You're talking good now.
No, I'm just saying, like,
no, for real.
What you keep will manifest. If you want to keep saying I'm not good enough, that's what you're going to scream for. That's what you're only going to be receptive to. In actuality, if you want to, I should have brought my stuff, but it's reticular activative system in our brain. If that's what you think, that's what you're only going to allow yourself to see. Even if people are coming to you and say, oh, you're doing a really good job, or you can be like, yeah, right, it's not good enough. Because you won't allow a whole space for a different point of view, because that's what you hold on to as your identity. That's what sometimes gets you that attention or whatever. So,
because you can't get your mind over what's the matter.
Because you, the person, can't get your mind over what's the matter. Yeah, you said that. I like that. I'm gonna use that now.
That was just downloaded. I saved it.
But that's the reality of it though too.
Yeah, that's so deep. It's so deep.
Yeah, so
we don't even sometimes grasp the complexity of the things that we say or put on ourselves just out of routine, habit. I always thought this way.
Yeah. until you realize you don't want to think that way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And normally a catastrophic event normally happens that causes people to make different thought patterns or changes or something, because they realize this is it. This is not it for me. Like I want more. I deserve more. Why am I like this? And then they make a decision, a conscious decision to say, oh, these patterns create this outcome. I don't want that outcome anymore. I want a new outcome. Okay, what patterns and habits and routines are you going to create to get said outcome?
So you said come to the table of you.
Yeah, you got to bring you to the table. Bring you to the carpet. Like, yeah, because that's the only thing that you can change. And what I find out, and I realize I work with a lot of people, they come to therapy because they're like, oh, so-and-so won't do this. Oh, okay, what you doing then? They come thinking that they're going to talk about other people
because it's really not
that's making them do stuff. And I had to say, oh, you a puppet? They got your strings? They making you feel that way? Mm-hmm. You want your strings back? Let's go ahead and cut that so you can know how to control and manage yourself and articulate instead of letting people control and manipulate you. Ooh. Yeah. So I teach people how to be self-assertive and be themselves unapologetically.
What?
Unapologetically.
Be you to the fullest.
To the fullest.
What?
To the fullest. Because that's authentic. If you're not, you really got like a shield on. People don't really know you. They can't even really help you how you really want to be helped because you ain't telling them.
But you don't really know until you bring you to the table.
True. And half the time, most people don't know what their needs are.
Because to your point, you're so stuck on what everybody else is doing to you. Whatever is going on around you. You're so stuck on that. You can't posture yourself and get yourself to rise above it, or to walk around it, or to leave it behind you, or whatever. Detach from it. Whatever you need to do, we get stuck in the situation and what's happening around us, to us, not realizing it could be for us.
Right. But that's a huge mind shift. I'll be honest. It's not easy. I don't want to sit up here and say like it's something you just cut a switch on and you should be able to do it. It's not. But it's just like I tell anybody, when we weren't born knowing how to ride a bike.
Nah.
We got out there, we scraped that knee up a few times, we got back on there, we figured it out until now we know how to ride that bike around 100 times. Mm-hmm. It's the same concept with trying new habits, new routines, new patterns. You're not going to get it right on the first time. Prepare yourself for that. It's in the Bible, trials and tribulations. Prepare yourself for the trial and tribulation of trying something new. It's just a process. Start to enjoy the process instead of looking at the outcome of what
journey,
you
baby.
Want. Like,
enjoy the journey.
And that's a lesson that I even had to learn because in actuality, I didn't even know what the outcome of what I wanted for myself. If anybody told me today that I will be owning a business, anybody told me today I will be owning a therapy, I was like, no. My clinical supervisor to this day, she pushed me here. And I was like, nah, this is not for me. I don't want to do therapy. It's not for me. I don't like it. I don't like talking to people all day. Somehow I am here. And I think that I'm here because I listen. I didn't grind here. I didn't get here that way. It's just more so to the extent of I had to just meet people where they are. And the reason why I don't even really advertise that I even do therapy, I just started marketing, is because I don't want to market or do it like the traditional therapy way. I like to help people to understand that you hold all the cards.
You got the power.
You have all the power. And a lot of places where I used to work, that's not what they want. They want you to keep coming every week. I don't want you to keep coming every week.
You want them to be healed.
Healed, resolved. You drop whatever terminology that you want. So for me, it's more so about giving you the tools so you can change what it is you want in your life. Not me change it. You change it. That's power.
So, because we can't put you in our pockets and take us.
No, I wish I could. I wish I could. And that's the hardest lesson that I had to learn. I had to relinquish that I can change and I can help everybody. I can fix everybody. No, I can't. I had to realize I had to set healthy boundaries of Jennifer. No, this person is exhausting. It's costing you. Set a boundary. That was the hardest thing. Like, the hardest thing.
Oh, that's hard for me. I don't think I got down.
Oh, I had to have it in order to, for myself. I can speak for myself. In order to last in what I am trying to do.
Speaking for us all. That's good for everybody.
In order to last in what I'm trying to do in my life, I have to set boundaries so I can sustain the things that are trying to come to my life. if I'm not physically, mentally prepared or able to handle it, it won't come to me. Or if it comes to me, it will crush me. I'm not ready. So that's why these trials and tribulations are important. They're building you for your outcome. So when the outcome comes, because it's going to come in abundance, it's going to come in overflow, it's going to come with so much, you got to be strong enough to handle it. Are you strong enough to handle it if it was to come today? I'm just curious. I'm just curious if everybody would think about that. Whatever you're asking for today or whatever change you want today, are you ready for it? Can you handle it today? Today, not tomorrow.
I posted something
today.
Last week, just exactly what you're saying right now. Today.
Yeah.
I posted it and I said, you cannot walk through the door that God has for you until you become the person that can handle walking through that door.
Oh, wow. Well, that's deep. But it's true. But people don't want to do the word.
What? The W word.
It's hard. Yeah, because you see people around you who getting it so easy. And you're like, why I can't get it so easy? But guess what? With easy come, easy go. 2 months, that's going to be gone.
And just because it looks like they're getting it easy doesn't mean that they're not sacrificing so much more in the dark.
Baby. Next. Because I can go. Like, I can go because I had, for real, some friends who thought, like, my life was easy. Somebody said I was a robot. Like, I had a friend of mine was like, Jen, you don't stress. You don't sweat. You don't cry. You don't fold. You don't. And I'm like, I cry every day in the room when I got my knees down. I'm in the Bible. Because I'm going to cry to you because what you going to do for me? I don't want you. I don't want your.
See, that's the major part.
Jen, I don't need you to cry for me. I don't need you to cry for me. If you can't help and pour and build and encourage me, I'm not coming to you. They know. Like, I just wanted to let people know, just because you see strong friends and strong people, they have moments too. They just use mind over matter because they know in this season, whatever I am feeling, whatever I'm experiencing, it's a season.
I just had to tell
you. And one thing about them seasons is they change.
They change.
Like clockwork. So I'm going to just ride it out right here until the next season. Because who covering me? It ain't you, it's him. That's just for me. Mm-hmm. But to each his own. So
listen. You saying exactly a conversation that I just had to have with somebody. They were like, "Oh, Rita," because I had to. I guess I was placing a boundary. I had to tell somebody that I couldn't do something, and I was like, "Listen, y'all be expecting me to never have a bad day.
Yeah,
like I'm out here. I'm a motherless child. I'm out here. Yeah. I'm a parentless child. Like I don't have my mother. I don't have my father.
Hello,
I'm recognizing it's just me. My son is out of the house, and I don't necessarily always have the dynamic the way that I want it within my family, but God is fixing that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I can't always. I'm gonna have a broken moment too.
You allowed
just because y'all don't see that.
Yeah, I don't need
it doesn't mean. That's why I love that meme. Check on your strong friends.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that I can't be everything for everybody all the time. That my phone, is always open, and I love that. That's the heart that the Lord placed in me to serve His people. But sometimes I'm gonna have to put that Jane on Do Not Disturb and get me together, like because I have to build me back up.
Yes.
And so when you're saying like those seasons and different things and how you got to be able to ride the process out, that is so major because like, look, it's not always going to be hot. No. It ain't always going to be spring weather where you don't need a jacket.
No.
Sometimes it's going to be brick cold out that jacket. You're going to need a jacket, a hood, a heated blanket, all of that stuff. But guess what? The sun is sure to shine again.
Surely is.
And I ain't even just talk about the S-U-N. So that S-O-N, he's shining, baby.
Yeah.
Even when the clouds blocking out, he's sure to shine again. Like I'm telling y'all, like it is so major. But the only way that you can live this life that we're talking about, the work that I feel that it is that you have to do is to learn to be you to the fullest. Because then you learn what you like, what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Then you learn how to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Then you learn who's for you and who ain't.
Hello.
Then you can be okay with the fact that you might not be for everybody, but who you for, they for you too.
Hello.
And that's a hard piece. Like how she was saying it was hard for her to get her back. It's hard for me to not be accepted by people when I know what's on me. That's hard for me.
And let me tell you how I can help you with that. I don't know if it can help you with that. This is my mentality on it. I'm not saying that my mentality is right, but I'm just saying What hell of heaven they got to put you in?
Now one, but it was still hard for me.
Oh, okay.
Because I know my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So when I know my heart is pure,
they don't have to know your heart.
I knew it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't fathom why, like, because you think like, okay, I epitomize this, I display this servantship, I display friendship, I display loyalty, and I display it to people. They see it. Facebook makes it prevalent. They see who I am. Mm-hmm. They should be able to see it. But then I had to realize that I don't know what's going on in their mind or what's the matter with them, why they can't see. And that I need to be okay with not being received by people. Because sometimes, listen, rejection is protection.
Hello.
I don't want to get attached to nothing that I'm not supposed to be attached to anymore.
Hello. I learned that lesson maybe 3.5 years ago when I started, opening up my business. Like I said, I didn't do any marketing. I didn't want to do any marketing just for that reason. Because I felt like I wouldn't be received well. I don't dress or look like a normal therapist. I color my hair every 2 days. I got braids one day, lashes. I just felt like I wouldn't be received well. And my clinical supervisor helped me to understand people who are for you will see and accept you one way or the other. Mm-hmm. If they don't, it's okay. It's not nothing less worth to you, that you're just not for them. Think about it. If you want to work or be with somebody who don't like you, think about how difficult that's going to be. How stressful that's going to be.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So it's kind of like you're like, okay, you don't like me? Great. We cut a lot of time out.
What?
we cut a lot of wasted time out. I received that. See you on the other side, and I still love you.
I ain't even feeling no type of way no more. I used to be like, what? You know what?
Baby, please.
I ain't even feeling no type of way no more. I be, hey, bye. Over there. Hey. And then, like, what I love about myself is that I'm able to be arrested immediately. I walked past a person in the store, and I should have spoke to them. And it was some things going on in my mind and my heart, and I did it. I couldn't even get 2 hours up the store. I had to go back and call the person's name. And then at that point, they was looking at me like, and then I was just like, hey, how you doing? I should have spoke to you when I saw you the first time. Freed me.
Yes.
It wasn't even about the person or the fact that they didn't want to speak to me then, or they were looking at me crazy. I didn't care. Freed me.
Yeah.
Freed me. I'm free.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to learn to do. Once you free yourself of the things that hold you down, then you can really get your mind over all that other matter. All of the other matters. Because matters are just problems.
Yes.
Matters are just things. Matters are just distractions.
Yes.
To Jen's point. So, like, I'm grateful for the conversation on today. Like, I'm grateful for everything that you poured into me, but also into the beauties.
Oh,
right?
Thank you.
And, like, it was so real.
I hope it was received well. I was so nervous, but I feel like it kind of touched base on a little bit of everything we were trying to say today. In reference to what we need to do to manage like our mind and how we can control it and renew it every day.
This is just a start because it's going to be an ongoing process.
Every day. Like the renewal of the mind is an everyday process.
Be ye what?
Every day.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day.
So if you want disciplined, because that's a big word, with this type of mentality, you'll fold easy. But like I said, it's just like riding a bike. You had to learn. You had to fall a couple of times. You made mistakes and you learn from them. And just like that, you'll do the same and learn how to manage feelings so we can control our mind over the matter. So,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So, like, in closing, be not conformed, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know better, you do better. As you grow, as you evolve, as you transition into who you want to be, and as your purpose continues on, your mind has to be transformed through each phase of your life. You're not going to think like you thought when you was in high school.
No.
You're not going to think like you thought as a young adult.
Or you shouldn't.
When you become a parent, you shouldn't.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Let's put that little plug in there. You shouldn't. But when you become a parent, you don't think like you thought when you were single. When you become a spouse, you don't think like you thought when it was just you. No. You have to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind for today. What am I doing? Who am I today, baby?
Today.
Right?
Today.
Who am I today?
Yes.
So you just gotta listen. Be yourself. Be you to the fullest. Know that you can be used and that you are still chosen, flaws and all, more loved in your pure self, right? Because he knows all, he sees all. more loved. When you come together with a person, you're married. When I got married, I was just like, oh my God. Like when I finally like stopped trying to be who I thought they wanted me to be and was able to be like myself, I found that there were things about me that they love more than the other parts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, be you. Your real self. That's the one they waiting for to come home at night. Not the one that everybody else see, but like the flaw, like the one that you try to portray yourself to be. But just be you. And we had to, I think back in the Bible, and I'm gonna let it go. But in the Bible, in the beginning, when he first thought to create us, he created us naked. I'm gonna let that sit with you. He created us naked. And they were out there with each other, naked. Meaning he wanted them to be able to see, oh my God, the fullest, purest form, naked. But we have allowed society and life to clothe us with all this stuff that the real naked person is so far buried that you don't even recognize yourself unclothed sometimes. You don't know what's under there. I was joking my son. He looked at his arm. He was like, oh, I had a scar there. Oh, you don't know thyself. Get to know yourself. Stand in the mirror. Take it all off.
Yes.
Unpack it all. Take it all off and look at it.
Yes.
And then learn to love what you see.
Yes.
And that you don't love, change it. Mind over matter. That's good.
Yeah.
So look, we jumped into this conversation. I didn't even let you really like introduce yourself. So tell the people who you are, what you do, where your business is. Sorry, y'all.
So I'm Jennifer Stringfield. I own a counseling agency. It's called Empowerment Counseling Services in Smithfield, Virginia, 409 West Main Street, Smithfield, Virginia. Been doing it now for almost 3.5 years. We have other clinicians that are there as well. Like I said, I started most of my career journey helping people at Western Tidewater, looking at public schools as just being like a counselor. And I realized that I really wanted a little more flexibility of my schedule, hence why I kind of branched out and tried to do something of my own. Very scary.
She doing it though.
Huh? So when I say to you all about things, managing how I'm scared and not having plans in play, it's trusting the process. So I have experienced a lot of fears, just like probably everybody else.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is my good girl. She is. We go back a ways, not always, in a very tight circle, but always connected. By heart. You know. So, blessed to watch her what she does. She is the wife of one husband and a mother of 3. So, she is the epitome of strength. And, definitely reach out to her if you need anything. And I'm glad that you guys jumped on and, gave us a good hour of your time. I mean, it don't take long for God to do what he does, but it is good to dialogue and to hear perspective one right after another. And then when they align together with what the good book says, that's even better. So I appreciate you all time. I love you, beauties. I'm grateful for what you mean to me, but more importantly, what you mean to him. So as we are almost ending out with our session, I just want to pray. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you right now, Lord, for what you have already done for us. Thank you, Lord, for somebody who joined into this episode, tuned into this podcast, mind all over the place, matters all over the place. But right now, Lord, we thank you that you have realigned and caused them to be able to reassess, reposture themselves, and now they can get their mind over what's the matter. So, Lord, we love you more than anything. We look for you in all that we do. Yes. We praise your name. In Jesus' name, we do pray. Thank you so much for joining in. And we will see you in our next episode of Beautiful Ashes. I am your host, Ray, and this is my girl, Jennifer Stringfield. Bye. And we are grateful for your time on today. So thank you so much, and y'all have a good day.